Hello and welcome back to the universe where, yes, you guessed it, we talk about all things you. So, on the previous 3 episodes, we spoke about authenticity, we spoke about finding the courage to be yourself, and then finding balance. In this episode, we're going to be talking about triggers as teachers. What triggers really reveal about you? We're not just talking about the usual triggers are bad narrative, right? We're going to flip the script to what are our triggers really trying to reveal to us about ourselves. When we hear the word trigger, we often think about a bad experience, a comment that set us off. But in fact, it's not only just that. At its core, a trigger is simply a reaction. It's your brain responding to something familiar, usually tied to a past experience or an unmet need. The interesting part is triggers aren't necessarily just about what's happening on the outside of us. It's actually a reflection of what is happening on the inside of us. And that's the angle we're going to explore today. Triggers as mirrors. Now let's get a little scientific for a moment. When you get triggered, the part in your brain, the amygdala, it's responsible for receiving threats. It goes into overdrive. It's like a smoke alarm, but there's not actually a real fire. It's probably just toast burning. And here's the thing. Your brain is not just responding to that moment. It's responding to a memory, an event, action that you received in your past. And that's why a comment, a tone of voice, even a smell can cause a reaction. And it's possibly not the comment itself, it's just the way that it's making you feel from a past experience. And these triggers, they are like emotional breadcrumbs. They're leading you back to a moment where you actually did not resolve something, and now you're having to reflect on it and meet it again in a different experience. And then you get those subtle triggers. Maybe you feel uncomfortable when somebody compliments you, or you feel uneasy or sad when you get left out of a group chat. And all of these are golden opportunities to ask yourself the question, what inside of me is causing me to feel this way? Let's look at an example. You feel jealous when somebody else succeeds. Perhaps it is an unfulfilled need, like you feel you could have done more in your life, or you wish that was your experience. You feel angry when somebody interrupts you. Perhaps it is that you feel like you can't voice your opinions, you can't speak up, you don't feel heard. And triggers are really about the surface level event. They're more about the emotional need inside of us. Now, it's so easy, right? As human beings, we generally just want to not push blame, but we seek an external reason for why we are reacting or why we are feeling a certain way. It's very rare that we want to look inside. And this is actually where we need to do the work. Everything starts with you. Everything is about you. Personal story. Have you ever felt like you move from job to job, you move from friendship to friendship, you move from relationship to relationship, and the same thing that you find in the previous relationship, you are finding in this one. The same experiences or external triggers you have in a previous job, you are finding in the new job. And for a long time, I kept blaming the job, the other person, the situation I'm finding myself in. Only when I started to reflect and look on the inside did I discover I am the problem. It's me. Hi. Only then was I able to do the work. I get really, really attached to people. I don't open up easily, but when I do, I invest in people. I invest my time, I invest my energy. I generally just form really deep connections with people. And every time relationships, friendships, the moment I am really attached and invested, the person seems to pull away. This friendship seems to dissolve, end. And for a long time, I thought to myself, what could the problem be? Is the problem me? Yes, the problem is me. And that's a hard thing for people to do. It's a hard thing for people to come to that realization that you are the problem. And when I say the problem, again, that also might trigger you at this point. But the problem is not that I am the problem, it's that I don't acknowledge my role in the relationship. And the reason why it gets to the point where I either feel resentment or I feel like the person is pushing away or pulling away. And so I needed to do some deep shadow work and reflection as to why this is happening in every situation. It is because in that situation I find myself in, be it a new job, a new relationship, a new friendship, I need to establish who it is I am in that situation. I need to know what my boundaries are, and I need to know where to give and where to hold back. When you are a person that invests so much in people and pours so much into people, it's not always that you are receiving in the same way, right? I said this the other day where I'm always the person that is happy, is joyful, and no one ever checks in on those people. No one ever says, hey, are you okay? What's going on in your life? Because people just expect you to be okay. You don't always carry that on your face, on your demeanor, but you might be struggling with something internally and people don't notice that. I have learned that I need to express my need, what it is that I need from a relationship or a friendship in order for it to be reciprocated. People don't know, and I need to voice that. Now, turning your triggers into transformation is going to require some work, right? And it's going to require some hard conversations with yourself. Yes, it's so good to talk to yourself. It's so important to talk to yourself. So, the first part is you need to not be reactive. And this is a hard thing because in a situation where you are triggered, your first reaction is possibly fight, flight, freeze. And when you are taking in any of those options, you're going to be reactive. Now, what I do is I pause, I breathe, and then I ask myself, Giselle, what in this moment is triggering you and why? The second thing I do is I name that emotion. So whether I'm feeling angry, whether I'm feeling sad, whether I'm feeling hurt, I name that emotion. And then I ask why. What in your past is making you associate this moment or something that you experienced prior? And is this a truthful perception of what you are experiencing now? Or are you basing it off of association of the prior event? And then once I've done that, I respond. I don't react. So either I'll respond to acknowledge that in myself there is now a moment where I am associating with a past experience, or in that moment I will set a boundary. I don't appreciate what you just said or how it made me feel, and this is the reason. Or sometimes I just let it go. Some people you'll also find they are able to perceive, they are able to acknowledge, they are able to receive you setting boundaries. They are able to hear and listen to the reason why you feel the way you do and why they should perhaps be mindful when they are doing that again. But to some people, it's going to go right over their head. So in that moment, I just choose to let it go. Remember how powerful journaling is in writing the things that we feel and the things that we think, writing them down and reading it back to ourselves. So, in this week's challenge, I would like you to really write down the moments that you feel triggered. Even if it is throughout the week you experience a trigger, or perhaps you already have brought awareness to something that triggers you. Write that down and address the deep belief that it comes from or the past experience that it comes from. Acknowledge that and then move through it so that you bring awareness to when you are triggered by things like that. Now, triggers aren't something to fear, it's not something to avoid, it's not something that you're going to be like, I don't ever want to be triggered. I don't ever want to be in a situation like that. So I know that this person does it, so I'll avoid that person. It's not always as easy as that. But it's an opportunity for you to understand yourself, mirror back to yourself the areas in your life that needs work, that you can develop on and strengthen, and truly just grow from. So the next time that you feel triggered, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? Now, if this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend. Please comment. Please find me on social media. And I hope you have a beautiful week. Remember to be brave, to be bright, to be happy, and to stay true to you.